Okay, now, next Tuesday is 1 year since the Boston Marathon bombing. A hearing on the Hill today on the response on behalf of law enforcement and a new report that finds intelligence agencies miss key signs. That was before the attack that killed 3 and injured 260 others. North Carolina Congressman Richard Hudson's on the Homeland Security Committee. And, sir, how are you? Good day to you.
Doing great, Bill.
Is the hearing over?
The hearing has concluded.
Okay. Well, what did you learn that we need to know now about this from 1 year ago?
Well, the report we prepared, the Homeland Security Committee, had several findings of areas of breakdown that we need to work on. The former police commissioner from Boston testified today and agreed with some of those findings. In particular, we need better information sharing between the feds and the locals, particularly giving more access to terrorist watch lists, the FBI watch terrorist list. We need to do a better job of screening folks who travel internationally that we have concerns about. Third, we need to do a better job of sharing information. When a federal agency puts someone on a watch list, like was the case of one of the Boston bombing suspects, that information needs to be shared with other agencies so they can compare notes on these individuals.
You know, I don't think anyone would disagree with anything you're saying. I think the question is there any resistance to this? Because a lot of the arguments we're hearing, we thought we had them 13 years ago after 9/11. So then what has changed, if anything?
Well, I think we've made some improvements since 9/11, but I think what we can learn from this incident is that we haven't gone far enough, and we still need to do a better job of getting information to our local law enforcement. We need to do a better job of coordinating between agencies. When you have information about folks who are of concern, we can always improve, and I think we've got some serious lessons to learn here.
Very true. I interrupted you there. You were about to say finally, and so I stepped over you. What was the final point you wanted to make on that?
Sure. The last point, the finding of our report, was that we need to do a better job of coordinating with the American people, of sharing information. Programs like See Something, Say Something. We need to continually evaluate how we're sharing information with the public. And the other part of that is state, federal, and local law enforcement agencies need to be continually updating our techniques and our strategies and working together in training exercises to coordinate so that if we, God forbid, have another incident like this, we're better prepared to respond.
No, I think that's a great point, and I'm glad you said it. On the subways here in New York, we see signs everywhere. If you see something, say something. You can carry that motto across the country as we try and fight back and push back and prevent this. Based on your investigation, your report, the hearing today, could we have stopped this in Boston, and should we have stopped it?
Well, it's hard to second guess, particularly because the first responders that day, the law enforcement officers did such a heroic job and did such a terrific job. But certainly there are things we missed. We should have shared more information about the older brother and his travel with the local police. We should have gotten them involved in investigating him when we got the information about him. And frankly, I think another thing that isn't being talked about is we need to use canines for bomb detection a lot more. If we'd had more canines deployed during the marathon, one of those dogs walking past the backpack would have hit on it, and we might have been able to prevent it that way.
But, you know, yeah, the FBI interviewed one of these brothers, too, and that information was not shared. And so, I mean, you see the ball where it's dropped along the line, and let's hope we can plug those gaps, sir. Thank you for your time.
Well, the important thing is to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Indeed. Thank you, sir. Richard Hudson, Republican
Thanks, Bill.
of North Carolina. Good to have you on, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.